Right. Hello. How are we doing this morning? Well, coffee time first. Yes, good morning, and finally it's starting to be a bit more later in the mornings when I get up, which is always feels nice and positive. So, is there anybody there? Hi, Stelly. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. I wonder who else is about. I think it's just you and me. Oh, there's Graham. Great. Stream's lagging. Right, this is the one thing I don't ever. Wait a minute. Try this. Right. I wonder if that's better. Because what I had. Hopefully that's improved it. I did have my Wi-Fi on instead of having it switched off, so it's like, because like the computer's hardwired to the router. And that's how I should normally use it for better performance. So I wonder if that's better. I've never really had any lagging issues. But hopefully. Right, okay. Cool. I've done that anyway, so that's hopefully that sorts it all out. So today we're gonna do so in preparation for a video I'm gonna do, I just thought I would start off with XO drums today, because normally when I'm splurging I go for the melodic instruments, but let's go with some like rhythmic stuff. So we're going to go from sort of just opening it up and show you how I customized XO, because I've been slightly developing it. I've had a few iterations of how I use it in Ableton, and I've got one which is like definitely the best of all three worlds that I've been hanging about. Yeah, cable is the best. Right, yeah. Get some, you see I've got this, I can have, what do you think? Moody shadow or beauty? Quite like beauty light. But yeah. When I do that, the quality feels a bit grainy, but I hate the way that you can see all your pimples. Anyway, this is a music channel, not a beauty one. Yeah, so XO, that's my go-to. I think a few of you guys use. I think you use it, don't you, Stelly? You've got XO, is that right? If I remember rightly. don't know how you've got it if you've got an elaborate setup like mine. But we're gonna have a look. That's for sure. Right. Just hang on a couple more seconds. See if anybody else has turned up. Is there anybody else there? Do say hello in the chat because it can get. It's not lonely now because I've got like Stelly and Graham here, but it can get a bit lonely. You use it, right? Cool. Okay, so let's have a look. Boom. Wonder which view I'll go for. This one. That's quite good, isn't it? You have it rooted. Brilliant. Yeah. I think, okay, so, I mean, obviously there's a couple of ways you can have it rooted. So the first way, I did have EXO rooted, like actually nested in an Ableton drum rack. So on push it would come up and just like populate the drum pads. But I decided not to do that because I just find the drum rack really, really awkward because you have to be over in this in the session view to get in and mix it. What you can't do is you can't open it up on your arrange page, which is what I've got here. So I can kind of shut it down there. Doesn't take up any room, just like a drum rack really. But on here, but I can open it up in both session and arrangement. So I think that's like one thing I decided to do. So I don't know if you've got it routed like that. I think like this is the easiest way to do it, because either way you've got to get MIDI instruments out and start faffing on and assigning pads to things and to MIDI notes. But that's the first thing. And then the other thing I have got is I've got a load of stuff here that I've coloured in. And all I've got here is, just check. Yeah. So what I've got here is when I open up EXO, I'm looking at the different channels, is that I've got envelopes mapped to everything. So I can just pull in, and basically what I've mapped is the decay on each sound, so I can just make them shorter if I want. But I've also got pitch as well, because that's like handy as well. The only thing with that is to get it back to the center pitch, sometimes you can't actually get it with just the mouse, so you have to hold down shift so you can do finer adjustments. But apart from that, it's really good. It works really nice. Anyway, that's so that's the first thing. I wonder if there's a way to use my own one-shots. Alright, so right, so I think it's all about EXO, about using your own one-shot. I mean, alright, yes, there is. I say there is, but I don't know if this is going to be the answer. But what I do is you could put all of your one-shots into a library, and you can just scan everything anyway. So it's scanned, but I think you'll know all of that. But when you go to the search, okay, you can select none. Yeah. So you select none, and then what we can do is you can select the thing that you're wanting. So I'm gonna have some vaporwave, right? So I've selected two vaporwave sample libraries there, and if I go to space, you can see that like that's basically, here's my sample library, and that's just all of the one shots to do with that library. Oh, that's good sound, that. Right. Yeah, so that's how you do it, and then you haven't got like that massive splurge. So of like billions of like dots. So what it's really good is, you know, when you've been on Splice and you get a sample pack, you can deselect everything and select your new sample pack, and then you can just explore it, can't you? And you can build kits out of it, which is, I love doing that, because you can use this. You can use XO in standalone, so it's just nice. Like if you've got like a sample pack you want to explore, you can just load that one up, and then it masks everything off. So that's really good. So zooming in, if you've got your wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in on it like that. That's handy, isn't it? And then if you lose yourself, you can just center it. See everything again. But what I have, right, is so I highly recommend having a startup template. So I've just got, basically there's no sounds loaded in, but obviously it's all routed to where you want it to go in the outputs. And that's it. Nothing's like loaded up, and we can just so we could get that kick. It's going to cause problems, but I'm gonna. Right, I'm digging that. Actually, I'll put that as one of my snares. That's decent. So that's really handy as well. If you hold your click down, it shows you the path that you've been with your mouse, so you can really find. Like sounds. That's good. Anyway, there's a clap. Might use that as percussion. Okay. It's quite nice. I like that, but obviously it's got... I'm also picking a few sounds that I like that have got, like, you know, loads of problems on them as well. Okay. So that's all of your kits, right? Now, we've got a couple of choices of how we want to work here. So the first one is we can just kind of do stuff actually in here. So there, when I push that play button in, it's actually synced to Ableton. So when I press play, it'll play along. So, and then we've got our envelopes on here as well, which I'll come to in a minute. Alright, and then the other thing we can have is we can have like the structure of the beat. So if I put that onto there, see what it does. Right. So on B, we want to take it off there. So that's the first thing, just sticking a beat in. But then another cool thing that I really like to use, yeah, it's really important to have your sounds like where you can find them or a way you can sort of like view your library, which is why I used XO, because basically all of my one shots are like piled into one place. I don't spend time sorting my library out. It all just goes into one place. And then I kind of find things that I like, sample packs, and I just tend to go to them. But with XO, it's really good that you can remove things that you don't want to look at and just explore one thing that you're interested in. It just makes it super easy. And the thing is, like with Splice sample packs, like a lot of them have like loads of folders in them, like tons and tons of folders, and you're trying to get to a hi-hat and you're clicking the sample pack name, then you find in the category, then you find in the hi-hat category, and then you find in open or closed hi-hats, and then usually you'll have a choice of like different formats, and then you've got to find the format you want and click into that, and it's mind-blowingly tedious to find a sound. Where is this? It's just straight to that one shot and drag it in. And basically, like, one of the things you want to be doing is have a way where you can be able to like explore new sounds and to pull new things in, and it not have a massive time cost. And this does that beautifully. So, which is why, honestly, like the main reason I use this is because of that. Right, so we've got a bit of a beat now. The other thing is I like the accentuator. So, and there's these funny little squiggly lines, and you can switch them off because I don't want everything accented. But what we can do is we can stick it on, I think, the hi-hats, right? And basically have these little levers, and it'll accent different notes. So we can we'll solo it and see if we can get a bit of a groove going. Another thing I've got here is I've got Kickstart 2 for my hi-hats. I'll just drag it off that kick. So I'll just have this in here now. I'll put that on in a minute. So that accentuator, I mean, all I'm trying to do is just get it so I'm not in my head. That's without it. Okay. And it might work nice on the kick. Let's have a listen to the kick. Yeah, it's just humanizing it a little bit. The interesting thing about grooves is you can get a lot of groove into a sound just by messing with the velocities, which is a kind of first sort of way that I would think about doing groove in a lot of synthwave stuff, because in synthwave you're using like 16th basses, 16th hi-hats, and sometimes when you're using like a swing, a preset swing, it can swing too much and you can't get the swing quite where you want it. So one of the ways is just to use velocity and then maybe it's a tiny bit of swing, which is what I'm gonna do here. Right, okay, now let's just I'm gonna save this. There you go. I think that's how you spell vaporize. But anyway, that's the first thing. I'm just checking the chat. Yeah, I added extra storage planning to keep my... That's not like cloud storage, is it? Because I'd imagine that would slow things down. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to sort your one-shot folders. Just let XO, just put all your samples in one place and let XO just scan all of it, and it'll pull out the one. It'll find all the one-shots, and then it'll put them into categories. Because one thing that's quite clever about it is that what it'll do is when you've got kick drums and things, when you go up the kick drums, like shorter, depending on which side you go, it's shorter and higher pitched and lower. It's like basically, so it even like categorizes sounds in length and pitch as well. So it does a lot of like, it does a lot of cataloging for you, to be fair. Yeah. All right. Yes. So that's something I need to get. Actually, that can be sort of this month's job. All right. So we've got our drums, and then what I like to do is, because I'll need to further edit them no doubt, is we can push this button and then we can drag the MIDI out, and that's it. Like, I don't drag the audio out, I just have the whole thing in like that. Take that out of sync. And now we've got our drums. So, first thing is the kick is too long. And that's all it took, you see. Just turn that down. And that envelope's very forgiving. It's removing the crap I don't want. Okay. Oh yeah, so this has got loads of noise on it. Let's have a look. And again, I can just find that sound. What is it? Flex. So a lot of mixing is just space, isn't it? Controlling space. If you can control space and make things shorter, basically you can hear more things that are going on. You can get a clearer mix without starting to drag EQs out and stuff like that. So it's a very nice, natural way to do things, organising sounds in terms of their lengths. So it's a pretty quick setup. that snare down in pitch, and you know, I think that's sounding alright, isn't it? So I'm happy with that. The only other thing we could possibly do is I like the Logic Swing 1651. Just gives it a very subtle nudge about. Okay. And there we go. Sounding decent. Well, I think we might as well stick some music to this. Tell you what, we're going to go with a different bass. Switch that off. And we'll stick in Diva. It's a great synth. That's very synthwavy, isn't it? We'll do slow it down. Pick a key. F sharp. Alright, but it's got to be in tune with that hi-hat, with the cowbell. There we go. Just turn it up. faster. Right, not sure what I'm doing here with the chords wise, but sounding good. Right, we'll have the Vogue strings on there. So I've just put a bit of pitch drift on them as well. Alright, who's here? Nobody. Oh, never mind. Not many people on this morning. Alright, so interest. Let's get some interest on the go. So a new interest synth I use is Baby Audio. So just like for interest, just any kind of weird sounds that, instruments that don't sound like the regular analog stuff that I use. And this is quite quirky because it does have sort of very basic FM thing built into it. So we'll have a look and see what's in here. Oh, I'm not hearing anything. Oh, it's Gate Labs on. That's quite cool. Sounded quite nice when it was had 2 and then missed 2. Yeah, that's quite good. And then we just need a catchy vocal. We need arcade. Here somewhere. There it is. Oh, can it be asked for this? One moment. I updated it, so it's right. Okay, I'm getting somewhere now. Cool. Good, it's now working. I hate it when that happens. Subscriptions and stuff. So I'd updated it and it logged me out, and I couldn't remember which email I'm using. Alright, we're in F sharp minor, aren't we? So I think any of that's gonna work. So I wanted. So for interest for our drums, I'm wondering if we can get something on here. What happens if I push indie? Wonder what. See if we can get a verse out of this just by taking stuff away. Cool. But I do think... I'll tell you what, we'll put this in. Hi, Black Milk. Excellent. I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. Let's start that again. Just move my structure out of the way. Okay. That's it. Yeah, I think I need to change this beat a little bit. Not fully grooving together how I want it to. Cool. Right. So yeah, good to see you on here, Black Milk. It's a quiet one this morning. So I do like synthwave tracks with a touch of vaporwave in it. I do like those vaporwave drum sounds in particular. Yeah. Mind you, the other solution you've got there, Black Milk, is you could come over and watch on YouTube, which is my preferred method of things these days. So the plan is, right, because today's theme is sort of like EXO, I'm starting projects off really with it. But I am going to do a bit of content on it on YouTube as well. So there's going to be like a 10-minute video about how I'm using EXO. Just got out of bed. That's fair enough. Up you get. All right, Black Milk. Stretch. Have a yawn. Make a cup of coffee. So, right. Some sonic signposts, I think. Right, big clap. Where's that big clap? Gonna go on the fourth beat there, innit? All right. Big claps, face blue, smiling. Yeah. All right, here we are. You're on YouTube now, which is brilliant, Black Milk. So, have you? I'm assuming you've subscribed to the YouTube channel, haven't you? Have you done the subscribing to YouTube? If you haven't, it's fine. You can do it now. I'll tell you what. It's. I mean, obviously, I need to making content. Really is the way to solve the problem, but all right, that's cool. But I need to grow those watch hours on YouTube, because in terms of, I think people who subscribe, I've got that bit of it sorted. It's the watch hours. Once I do that, I can work on monetizing it. So one of the things I'm thinking about is, I know I've got, obviously there's Dreamstream, which I put a lot of music on, but obviously, like, I make a lot of tracks here, and I mean, part of what I'm doing at the minute is I need to make some stuff for McLaughlin and Hutch for our lives, and then if anything comes out of that, we'll kind of maybe release it. So I'm kind of making new music for that. So I've got a fresh machine and I'm just making splurges. So we've got some tracks to play to at some point. So there's that. But then I'm also going into a bit of songwriting as well. So the missus is wanting to write some more stuff. And she thought of a band name, which I thought was quite good. So the band would be called I Am Vice. I thought that's a pretty cool name. So I think we're getting some design done for it. But I need to get a few there's like sort of 3 tracks at the minute that I need to finish. This is Devil Is My Friend, but I just need to put the guitar solo on that because it's just a bit crap. I Am Vice was that track from before. Yeah, so the first track would be, I mean, there'll probably be an argument over it actually. I would have said Devil Is My Friend should be the first one. But she'll say that second one we did that I basically I worked on. It's really interesting doing, actually, when I think about it. The second one I didn't like as much, but I think that was because every time I do the sessions, they really are chaotic. I mean, it's like beyond what like you'd expect from splurging. It's just such a mess and like so fast and hard to keep up with everything that's kind of going on in the room in that songwriting process, catching the moment, putting electronic bits of synths together, playing your guitar along with all, and I just end up with a massive uncontrollable mess. And then inevitably in that uncontrollable mess, it sounds it sort of sounds good. You can hear the potential of it, and there's like energy and there's like interest there. And then inevitably what I did is the thing that does happen is that I went in and then I started organising it, and then what I did by organising it was remove the character, but by having the character in, it was just too chaotic. So it's just like the second track, I can't remember what it's called, was just really hard to work on. It was a tough one. Yeah, so there was that, and then there was a track we did ages ago called Blackout. Band, does that mean maybe live performances too? I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to it. But that would be purely, it wouldn't, it wouldn't be like the most sensible move for me to do a live performance because of the hassle, the time, the organising of it. But I really miss playing live. I love doing... I mean, obviously I do the thing sitting down with Thomas, but I do love, like, when we do the stuff standing up. That's much better, isn't it? Because you're much more animated. I know it's kind of not a big ask, because at the end of the day, I'm a musician. It's kind of like what you're meant to be doing, is doing live performances, aren't you? But the thing is, you start getting into like this, like streaming, and then yeah, it's just life's so much easier, isn't it? I'm just I wonder if I'm too big there. Yeah, but yeah, because it's mad that like the live stream thing. Hold on. I feel like, but then I'm over. Oh no. I just feel too big and imposing today. Right, that's better, isn't it? Yeah. So, what's the quality? I mean, I've had to zoom in a little bit. What's the quality like? Is it all right there? Does it look okay? Anyway, pretty much, I get the lighting on and off it goes, and it gets the point across, And the thing is I can come on here whenever I want and do stuff. But I've got to be careful because it redefines kind of what I'm doing, because for me it's be do my creative thing in the morning is like the most important thing because it's almost like my health and well-being. So I do it. But then again, it's also, in a dangerous way, my connection to the world. So I feel like when I'm doing my thing here and then I'm doing my lives once a fortnight on guitar at full pelt, like I feel like I've made my connection to the world and I can't do much more, and then that seems to be enough to support the coaching business. So that works kind of really well. So I tick all the boxes. And then I think like, oh, right, in terms of releasing music, it's like the one thing where you do it and it's kind of like the expectation is you do that. But then when you do that, it's not as impactful. Not when you've got like already like tons of stuff out. And sort of over the last few years, like honestly, I've tried everything. Most things anyway. I mean, the big thing for me with doing tracks is I really love doing the collaborations, like the stuff like when we did Michelangelo, Jordan Rudess. God, that was terrifying for me, that first one. So doing those collaborations I really like doing as well. And another thing I don't capitalise on is probably doing solos for other people. But in terms of making my connection, this is it. It's like I love coming on live and just doing stuff and making music and people watching. I think it's brilliant. And then having a bit of a conversation. So that's what I think. So I've had a few dance labels getting in touch actually, because some of my releases that I've done, they've what do you call it? They've the license agreement's finished on them, so they've come back to me at 100%. So that's an interesting situation. I wonder what I'll do. Re-release them, or just, I can sign them back off for another 10 years and then they'll go on compilation albums. Oh, hold on. Yeah. But I just think like being able to stream as a musician is just a brilliant thing, isn't it? Like being able just to make music, let people see you making music, and then be able to perform the music all in one space is just, that's where it is for me. I think the only downside, I think at the end of the day, it's probably, I think it's a difficult one. I think if I was to go back into dance music, which I'm not, then not signing them back and independently releasing them and getting the support back that I had would be a way to go. But then when you sign them off again, basically maybe there could be a way of re-releasing through the label. Because one advantage of the labels that I had, right, which is massive compared to what I do now with McLaughlin and Hutch, is that when I did a release, that label, especially if it was Two Dutch, right, so you could imagine like Two Dutch are quite a big concern. You could imagine all of the DJs that they've got in their pool who are going to play your track out. So, it would go off to them, and most of them would play my stuff. And I mean, that's why I charted so many times. Because I was getting really good support. I mean, God, I remember being in Lost Frequencies top 10 on his playlist for a while, and that was brilliant. Kid Massive as well. Mark Vito was a big supporter of mine. EDX, God, I mean, you know, when I was doing dance music, I was well on my way in terms of making a splash. But unfortunately, it didn't end well with the publishing. Yeah, so I mean that was the thing, is like I wasn't really that interested in the DJ. I love like making the music, right? And I love like releasing the stuff and the impact it has, and then occasionally seeing your track being played out in Tomorrowland or somewhere in a club and everybody going mental. But I never go to a club, and I never kind of hang around with that crowd ever. It's purely just about the music, you know? So it's a bit of a weird situation. So, and the thoughts of actually going and DJing just really doesn't appeal to me at all. It's like worse than I don't know. I just wouldn't stand in it. I'd have to do something. And you're stuck there for ages, and most of your time's gone. It takes a, you know, that. Oh yeah, no, I couldn't. Not now, anyway. So I don't suppose there really is a downside, because they won't really make any money. So it's still just exposure and having stuff going out in compilations, still out in the ether, and people enjoying your music. I tell you what, when the pandemic was on, and then you saw like loads of like quite well known DJs in the kitchen DJing, you just thought, what the fuck is this? But I think like if like all the notes I'm playing on guitar. That's like mad, isn't it? Watching somebody, you would obviously see the buttons, but watching somebody do that, or faking it, even worse. Yeah. I think it's quite good when they're animated and it's like you've got like an MC guy and it's like mates in a room and they're shouting down the mic and stuff. I think that's quite cool. And they're usually playing drum and bass or something like that. But like the pretentious sort of EDM lot, I just like, I can't deal with it. Like where they're faking everything. It's the fakeness of it all. I just can't stand it. Yeah. So, right, it's 7:35. I need to save this track. Let's have this view. Oh, hair's a bit weird at the back, but not to worry. Right, what do I want? Save. So, save as. Boom. And then I'll export it. When we finish here. Right, so I'm definitely saved. I just need to export and we're done. Yeah, so I'll be, I think I'll be flipping back to a bit of guitar stuff actually pretty soon. So to write new material for I Am Vice, it's going to require some rock kind of guitars. But the thing is, I'm not totally down with the style just yet to be able to just kind of do it, churn stuff out without a singer. But I can certainly get ideas together, so I can do that. Okay, so I'm gonna head off now. and I'll see you all Monday morning. All right. I think me and Thomas will be back to lives. It's not this Saturday because he's doing something, but we talked about maybe next Saturday, and that'd be great to be playing back. So I'm going to make sure I do all of my practice this week. All right then. See you. Bye.